Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Coe Show. My name is Mason Coe. Here, as always, sitting across from me, my co-host, Aaron Coe.
Hello.
Go ahead and follow us on Twitter, at Mason Charles Coe, at Aaron Coe 29, and go ahead and subscribe.
Come on, you lazy bastards.
yeah.
Just do it. It's not that hard.
Seriously.
Even I could do it, and I'm fucking old.
Seriously.
It's not that
We're
hard.
2 of our 11 subscribers, so we would like more people to subscribe. I think over 50% of our viewers are not subscribed, which is just kind of lame. So yeah. Also, ebook on Amazon, hardcover on Lulu.com, and yeah, today is Wednesday, 11/11. Happy
Veterans
Day.
Thank you.
Thank you to the veterans.
Everybody out there that
Thank
has
you.
served.
Yes, thank you to the veterans. Wouldn't be here without you.
Yeah, and I was too big of a pussy to serve, so thank you.
Me too.
for
I
all
mean,
of you
who
that
knows? I am still in the draft range, so we'll see
True.
what happens.
Yeah,
but
you better be knocking on wood there, bro.
yeah. All right. Let's just.
By the way,
right.
I just have to say this. That is the ugliest goddamn jersey I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, yeah.
What
Let
the
me just
hell?
explain this.
Is that a dress or a jersey?
So
what
I
are
needed,
you doing right now?
I needed a Clippers jersey, okay? I could not find any
hard.
cool Clippers jerseys on
'Cause
my
they have
Chinese website. So I had to buy a real one, and then I was like, okay, who should I get? So this is, I spent way too much money on this too. So
Oh my God.
the only thing I could find on eBay was this throwback Bill Walton jersey, which is kind of a cool jersey, but the problem is, if you're watching on video, it goes past the screen right now. You can't even see on the screen. It goes almost down to my knees. Like, my shorts barely pop out. My shorts barely pop out from this. So that's the explanation for this dress jersey.
Oh my God.
Also, I'm wearing a pretty big sweatshirt, so I figured if I'm gonna wear this, I might as well just throw the huge jersey on
Wow.
for this one.
You're not going to wear that outside, are you?
No, this will never see the light of day. This is for the collection and the podcast.
The neighbors already think we're weird. You don't need to wear that outside.
Yeah, I do really like this jersey, though. Like the look of it.
Yeah, if it was on a Sasquatch, it would be fantastic.
Well, Bill Walton looks like a Sasquatch.
That's
so,
true. Especially back when he was wearing that
yeah,
jersey.
Yeah, for real. All right, yeah. Let's just hop right into the first thing we got here. Unanimous Rookie of the Year for Kyle Lewis. Kind of expected this, just with the way he played.
Trade him now.
Seriously. Yeah.
Just kidding. Don't trade him, please.
He's hopefully the centerpiece to our future 2023 MLB World Series champions.
There you go.
I don't know. But yeah, no, he's, obviously this is really exciting. And I think this happened, November 8th at 3:51. This happened I believe around 10 minutes after we finished recording the Seahawks show. So
that's when all the news breaks.
Seriously, it's so insane. It started with the Gronk going to Tampa Bay. That happened legit 2 minutes after we stopped recording, and that's happened so often. So we just got to sit here and hope that nothing happens right after we, hit end recording today. But yeah, obviously this is great.
Yeah, he had a solid season. He little bit of a head scratcher initially when they moved him from right field to center field. I kind of wondered how that would work out, and he made the routine plays and made a couple of spectacular plays, a couple of over-the-wall catches, got more comfortable there as the season went along. I'd like to see his throws be more accurate coming into, to second base and home. But over an 800 OPS, and he's had a long path to get here.
Yeah.
Really promising when he was drafted.
I was so excited for him.
Yeah, it seemed like they got a great draft pick there. And then, he had a couple of, blew out his knee almost immediately, which is the most Mariner thing ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really promising, and I think he'll be hopefully he'll be the center fielder for a long time. They've got a couple of other outfielders coming up that are corner outfielders, so that's obviously why they moved him to center.
And we still got Mitch Haniger, baby.
Yeah, Mr. One Nut. I don't know. I don't know. He may be a guy that plays for the first month and then they try to trade him, or you do need 4 outfielders.
Right.
And who knows about that guy, but Yeah, it's good to see. Got 2 Gold Glove winners and Rookie of the Year. Now you just need
Considering the Gold Glovers are a rookie and a sophomore as well.
Yeah.
That's pretty legit. So.
Yeah, so it's they have some pieces. They need more pieces and they need everybody to get better.
Mm-hmm.
But it's encouraging.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm very guarded in any sort of optimism with this franchise.
Yeah. I mean, that's if you notice any optimism I've had, both when I'm talking right now about the Mariners and in the past on this podcast, I laugh immediately after because it's it's genuinely like a joke to be optimistic ever about this team just because the amount of times. But this is like there's a base to it now. There's like there's like a quantifiable young base that we have, and it's shown by awards and numbers. This is the first time in a very long time in my lifetime as a Mariners fan where I can be excited about the Mariners and actually have a real reason to be.
Yeah.
Not just, oh, we signed Robinson Cano. Maybe he can carry our whole team. That's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, good news, and who knows, maybe we'll watch them a little next year.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. Okay. So moving forward, the Mets had a very uplifting press conference from their new owner. I guess that's the right word I would use. Uplifting for Mets fans.
Yeah.
He seems like, I think the word I saw was the anti-Wilpone. So yeah, he just really wants to win. I mean, it seems like he genuinely just cares about winning.
Well, if you want to, imagine an owner that cares about
Seriously,
that.
Yeah.
I think, if you look at sports, some of the most underachieving franchises in the last 50 years, basically, or at least 50 years would be the Mets and the Jets.
Yeah.
Right. You got New York City. You can throw in the LA Clippers, or there's a couple others that rival them, but the Knicks, I guess you could throw
Mets,
them in
Jets,
there too.
Knicks, Nets.
Yeah. It's amazing to me that the Mets have mostly been a non-factor over the last 50 years
since the Darryl Strawberry days.
And even then, I mean, they didn't win a World Series.
True.
I think they last won it. Well, they last won it about when the Jets won their last Super Bowl, late 60s. Yeah. So, and I don't know how, but it'll be interesting. It looks promising, but will he be an idiot? You got to hire the right people and develop a farm system. Wanting to win doesn't always mean winning. Sometimes that means you spend money in stupid ways.
Or he will try to get involved with roster construction and all that, which I think we've said this at least five times so far in this is the 40th episode, I believe. We've said this at least 5 times. Owners getting involved is never a good thing. With roster construction, all you are supposed to do is hire the people that are good at their job.
Yeah.
You don't,
hire the best team. Your job is to hire a team president, the best one you can find, and write checks.
Yeah, that's what CEOs do when their companies get huge. They make a ton of money, but they hire the people that are good in those positions and delegate the work so they can just focus on writing checks. Jerry Jones said, "My hand don't cramp writing checks," and it's unfortunate for the Cowboys, but he gets involved with who he's writing those checks to, and making those decisions. But
leave the name on the check blank and just write the check and let the GM fill in.
Yeah, but if I'm a Mets fan, I'm excited about.
Yeah, you have to be.
So we also got this story is just so funny to me. You know what? Actually, no. We're gonna save it. I forgot.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna save it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Hold on. We're gonna switch to the Coe Show intro screen for 1 sec. Okay, we just had a quick discussion.
A little timeout. We've
Yeah.
got 2 left.
Yes,
We
yes.
We wasted one like Pete does
Just like
every
Pete,
game.
yeah, just like Pete.
Got to blow one early.
Just to talk things over, make sure we're making the right call. Yeah. Okay. So, in more unfortunate news, we said that we don't believe the UW game is going to happen until they're on the field and the kickoff happens. You know, you tweeted, "Don't fuck it up, Cal," and subsequently, unfortunately, you had to reply to your own tweet, "You fucked it up, Cal."
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I will get more into this a little bit later, but basically I think what I didn't know, what I think I don't even think Cal knew, that if you have one positive test, then they do contact tracing, and everybody that player's been around
They're out.
Is out. So if that's the way it's going to be, then there aren't going to be very many games played. And I think Cal is already looking at other places. So, I don't know if Kyle Peacock will watch this podcast or not, but we had a little war on Facebook.
Yeah.
Feel free to send me a Facebook friend request if you'd like. I post really annoying shit every day.
Actually, if you're gonna follow him anywhere, it's really his Facebook. To be fair.
I have some fun on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kyle Peacock and I go back 20 years. I knew him when he was the softball coach at Everett High School. He's won the last 2 state championships at Jackson High School, which is awesome. Unfortunately, didn't get to play. They didn't get to play this year, so he wasn't able to go for the three-peat. But he said that Cal chickened out. He said they chickened out because Cal could have played, but they would have. We're unsure if it was their offensive line or defensive line room. I've heard both.
Okay.
But basically, they would have had to have played with no offensive linemen or no defensive linemen. We're not sure which.
Okay, yeah. Like none, not even just their starters, none of them.
No, so you would have had to have, say it was the defensive line, you would have had to have
gotten
a couple of walk-on fullbacks and your third string tight end.
Yeah.
And
probably
guys that played it in high school.
Yeah.
Maybe some two-way play. That's what you would have had to have done.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, come on, you can't do that.
No. Okay. I didn't know the circumstance that it was the entire room of those respective positions.
Yeah.
But if it was like the starting offensive line, then I'd be like, okay, I can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
The fact though, I mean, no, like you can't just, it's not good for the sport. It's not good for UW or Cal. It's not good for fans. It's not good for the kids, especially the kids having to play those positions out of nowhere.
And do you think people would? Do you think a UW fan, whether it's Kyle Peacock or anyone else, would be like, if UW had their entire unit out, would be like, oh yeah, one of his things was next man up. I'm like, there is no man. There's no other man.
There's no man. Although here's the thing.
Do you think you would want UW to play if they had an entire unit out? Like it's
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You can't play a football game.
No. Although here's the thing, you would not think that you'd be able to play a football game with 32 of your players being out. So this is really interesting. And OSU game versus Wazoo. Also, Arizona and Utah did get canceled too.
Yeah.
But OSU versus Wazoo, it was revealed after the game that Wazoo was without 32 players. Coach Nick Rolovich refused to give an answer. He was asked if any missed due to COVID, and he said, "Come on, we're celebrating a great win here, a Pac-12 win. Let's not talk about it." So there's obviously some scummy things going on here.
I don't know what the hell.
If there was no one on the field with COVID, then I suppose it's like, okay, if no one else is getting COVID because of this, then it's like, okay, whatever, because I will side not with the Pac-12 on as far as their protocols, and most of the conferences are not doing it right. The Big Ten, you have to sit out 21 days. Doesn't matter if you test positive.
Yeah.
I mean, we got over here. We got let's see. I got the picture somewhere. Yeah, over here we got Trevor Lawrence on the sideline. You know, he's out due to COVID protocol. He's out due to COVID protocol, right. And he's on the sideline with his team. First of all, why is he on the sideline?
Yeah.
Second of all, he's whispering in this dude's ear with a mask off.
And how is that different than him doing that on the field?
Then yeah, how's it different from him playing? So I'm not gonna I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, Rolovich, you scumbag, you put people at risk, because the Pac-12 protocol, I don't know the nuts and bolts of it, but what I do know is pretty much every conference is not handling this well.
Right, and then in the Pac-12 in particular, the local health authorities, which I have more on that a little bit later.
Okay, yeah.
But they all have their rules, which the football teams have to follow. Which, right. I mean, I get that, and I'll throw my disclaimer out later. We're not anti-maskers here. Okay?
No, we're not.
We support being careful.
Yeah.
I'll talk more about that later, but yeah, Rolovich, I think they might have found the one guy who's weirder than Mike Leach.
Oh my God,
like he's
seriously?
A screwball.
Seriously.
I kind of enjoy it. Like it's gonna be fun. Especially if UW continues to beat them every year.
Yeah.
But he's an oddball. You have to be a little bit different to coach in Pullman, and
for sure,
I think he's showing
going
that.
from Hawaii to Pullman. What the fuck?
Those 32 players, we don't know why. So there's some opt-outs.
Oh, some of those are opt-outs?
But we don't know. Some of them may be opt-outs.
Okay.
We don't know.
I thought those were like listed, the players that opted out before the season.
We know who those players are. We don't know if that's part of the 32.
Oh, that's weird. That's shady reporting.
We don't know if it's people that left the team. We don't know if it's disciplinary.
Who's reporting 30? Whoever first reported 32 is shady, I feel like, then.
Well, that's the number that Rolovich gave, that we played without 32 players, but we don't know the math on that and how it all adds up.
Yeah.
It's the thing about the COVID that's tricky is, there are all these HIPAA laws. I think I have that right. HIPAA laws, hippopotamus laws that have been passed. So you have to be. There are some privacy laws with health issues and injury issues. Some of that can be waived by the players. So, but coaches are sometimes they do hide behind that a little bit. So Jimmy Lake was on, just so we're not just totally railing on Wazoo here, but Jimmy Lake was on his weekly show, and basically he said, yeah, there are some things we can reveal and some things we can't, and we're not going to reveal things unless we really have to. And then, but I think a lot of people, myself included, feel like this isn't, does he have an ankle injury or a knee injury? This is, does he have COVID, which we're all afraid of, and the public kind of needs to know,
and
that
it can
shit
spread
right
to other
now.
people. Like, and you can't give a knee injury to someone unless you're fucking Tristan Hill and you're trying to twist Chris Carson's leg off.
Yeah. So I feel like, and you don't need to name the players, but I do feel like, hey, if I have a nephew, your cousin at Wazoo, if there are 32 football players running around, I think the people that live in Pullman should probably know that.
Yeah.
You don't have to name them or have them wear a scarlet letter or something like that, but this is a public health thing.
Yeah.
It's not personal anymore. But anyway, so we don't know. I don't know if some of those players were injured, some opted out. I don't know if there was a team party and they were all, they all ended up in jail. Nobody fucking knows. But I guess I would, if I were Rolovich, I would be forthcoming, hey, yeah, we had one kid with COVID and all the other players, it's a team issue and we're handling it. Okay, do that. That's fine. I don't need to know any more than that. Okay?
We just won in the Pac-12.
Yeah, who cares? Yeah, but I did notice, I watched some of that game, and I noticed right away that Borghi wasn't out there. He's been there's their running back. I use that in quotations because he doesn't run very often.
Yeah.
But they did run with their backup, ran all over Oregon State. But I was like, what happened to that Borghi guy? And then I heard that he'd been left at home for I don't remember what they said on the broadcast. But Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's either say it's COVID or say it's not COVID. That's all. That's all.
I
I'm asking.
think you just like when you're asked a question, be honest. It like
Yeah.
because he's very. It's that answer. It's not even. That's not even when a politician deflects an answer. That was just completely not answering. Like that wasn't even
Yeah.
a diversion.
He likes to play with the media.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen him do it before. He seems to enjoy fucking with them, which I get. I'd probably do that too.
Fair enough.
But when it comes to COVID, I just think, again, I don't care about whoever doesn't have. I don't need to know their injuries. That's fine.
Yeah.
But if people have COVID, I just think the public has a right to know.
It's 32 guys that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Who knows?
More COVID news, unfortunately. SEC has announced that Bama versus LSU and Texas A&M versus Tennessee have been postponed due to COVID tests, contract tracing, blah, 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 blah. So that just sucks.
So
and
it
I
does.
don't know what the SEC has left room for as far as rescheduling, but I really hope we get a Bama versus LSU game, even though LSU is not that great this year.
And I tell you, it's serious if they're shutting that down.
Yeah, seriously.
Because they're, they'll play through about anything.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty amazing. And one thing that the big difference right now between the Pac-12 and the SEC and some of the other conferences is in the Pac-12. Should I get into the Larry thing?
Yeah, let's
now?
just do it. Yeah.
Okay, so it's all kind of part of this, but one of the things I knew this before, but I heard more about it this week, and I kind of didn't talk about it before. But Larry Scott, so they, again, without diving too much into it, the Pac-12 came out with a schedule that was conference only. A week later, they shut everything down. A couple weeks after that, they said we have these immediate testing machines that we're going to put in place. And then we came out with this, a couple weeks after that, we came out with a 6-game schedule with a potential seventh game. So what I've heard is that, so how long, I don't know how long it took the conference to make a deal with the testing company, but usually those things don't happen in an hour, right?
Yeah.
Is that pretty safe to say?
Yeah.
Well, the athletic directors found out an hour before Larry Scott had a
Press conference
on the
Zoom.
Thank you. Yeah, on Zoom. So he kind of blindsided all of the presidents and all of the athletic directors. They had no idea. So don't you think about that they were going to have those testing machines? Because Larry wanted to announce it. He wanted to take the glory of announcing
So they
it.
couldn't prep. They couldn't do any sort of planning.
So there's some schools, and Oregon being one of them, that sent, and UW sent some kids home. I think they're true freshmen. So Oregon sent everybody home, and then Larry is making this deal and doesn't tell anyone, and that because he wants the glory of the announcement.
At the very least, dude, just be like, hey, don't make any decisions.
Yeah,
at the very least.
Hey, something's coming. If you're an attention whore like that, and he needed a W. I'll give him that. He needed a W. So
he needs to get removed from his job.
He does. That's
what he needs.
Yeah. So he could have at least said, "Hey, get all your guys back on campus. We think we got some promising news coming." At least do that. But it was delayed, and then they announce it. They delay some more, and then you come out with a schedule that has no wiggle room. So the schedule that they came out, if they had started immediately with an October schedule, which I've mentioned a few times on the podcast, they could have built in a bye or two, and then you could have, when UW isn't able to play its very first game of the season, you maybe have some wiggle room to move it back to another spot.
Dude, this is game 1.
Yeah.
This is
they didn't even get off the ground.
They didn't. Yeah.
This crashed on the
the wings fucking flew off
before
on
you
the
got
runway.
off the ground.
Yeah.
So it's pretty. I was really upset, and I tried not to get excited about it, but it's during these difficult times, we all need our little things that make us happy.
Yeah.
So I was really looking forward to it, and to see the first game not even happen was tough. And had UW been facing any other opponent in the conference, I believe they would have been able to play, because the entire unit would not have had to have been quarantined. So anyway, it was a bummer, but I feel like, again, I go back to Larry, and had they moved faster at the beginning, then you have more wiggle room, and you have, I don't know, they left themselves no flexibility whatsoever, and that's the part that they could have started the season in mid-October instead of mid-November. So anyway, we've gone over that many times, but it's just this just makes it even worse when you have a couple games canceled and a couple more already in jeopardy.
Yeah, and there's a question you pose here that I like, and that's could UW have played Arizona?
Yeah.
Now, this is what I don't like about having college sports be through with the NCAA and all the conferences. Like, the fact that I instantly thought, oh, that's impossible.
Yeah.
I instantly was like, no, there's just
way
no way.
too many hoops to jump through.
Way too many. Those were the exact words I thought in my head. Way too many hoops to jump through.
Yeah.
The fact that I thought that just is a testament to how this system, if it's not a failure, could at least be much, much better. Why couldn't they?
Yeah.
Why couldn't they?
Yeah, there was talk about it.
Real talk?
Like, this is not my idea. Like,
okay.
Yes. And Jimmy Lake on his show said, had they have known a day or two earlier, they might have been able to swing it.
Wow. And the Pac-12 would have okayed it?
I think so.
Wow.
But
okay.
I don't think it got that far. But like Jimmy said, we already had our equipment truck on the road to Cal. Like,
right.
And then you have to figure out, meals and hotels for 100 people or 150 people, however many actually end up coming. You got 80 players plus all the staff.
But Arizona, was Arizona hosting? No, they were at Utah, so yeah, that is kind of tough.
Yeah, so you would have had a lot to figure out. And then I've heard some coaches say, well, you can't, there's no prep, like there's no I'm like, you know what, play the goddamn game. Play, sandlot football.
You think this season won't have an asterisk on it? Like, it definitely will.
And both teams would have been in the same boat. You got to, you're going to have to play more base defense and stuff like that, because you won't have a lot of film prep and all that.
Baby,
so what?
Pete Carroll's a good coach, so let's run that base.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the base.
Shut the fuck up. No. No.
So I wish they would have just done it.
Yeah.
I mean, figure
of course,
it ain't going to be pretty, but it's better than not playing.
I want fucking football.
Yeah.
And now there's just one less game.
Yeah. Yeah, cuz they're not going to make it up. I mean, they might blow out the crossover game at the end and play Cal then, but I won't care by then.
It's one less game of football.
Yeah.
And
no matter what.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's another. We have a short list of perpetual clown of the week, and Larry Brown.
I mean, we could almost when the Sonics come back, we might have to rename it.
Not Larry Brown, Larry Scott.
Larry Scott, yeah. So and then as far as UW goes, while we're kind of on that topic, I watched OSU Wazoo.
I did not.
I watched some of it. I was kind of half watching it, and impressive win by Wazoo. I really liked Oregon State in that game. Okay. I'm like, well, they've got their head coach back. They've got a lot of key players back, different quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And then Wazoo's coming in, new coach, new coaching staff, true freshman quarterback. But what they did was run all over OSU with a backup. I mean, ran all over them with a backup running back.
Interesting.
Now, Wazoo, hey, Wazoo fans, you should feel good about that. I will say, though, I thought OSU looked awful, and I thought their new quarterback looked awful. And I felt like watching it, it was more about OSU than
sucking ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Than Wazoo being really good. We'll see, and we'll see how UW does against OSU. I
Yeah.
may have to eat those words if that's a close game.
I just, in my head, OSU is just perpetually a fucking awful football team. It's
Yeah.
just in my head they always will be. I don't know why.
They've been a trendy pick, not to win the division, but to be a competitor for the division this year, because they just have. I think a lot of people are favoring teams that have a lot of their pieces back, especially if they're running the same offense.
Makes sense, yeah.
Where UW has a new head coach and a new offensive coordinator. So people would tend to say, well, with no spring ball and limited preseason practice, that that would be a disadvantage. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Oregon State on defense, they were horribly out of position. I don't know what their safeties were doing. They took some of the worst angles I've seen in a football game. So Wazoo fans, be guarded with your optimism. I still think it might be a tough season for them, but we'll find out.
Yeah,
we'll find out if they play. Who knows? They may never play a game again, and they may win the conference at 1-0. Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe we'll see how TJ Barr feels about it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, TJ, if you hear this. All right. Moving on to the NFL. Tack McKinley gets waived. There was some drama with them. He was basically tweeting like, "Look at my stats. Why haven't you traded me? I'm not good." he was pretty much saying that, which is kind of an interesting approach.
Yeah.
But they apparently couldn't get anything or not enough. I don't know really what happened. So they waived him. Fuck it, dude. Let's just get him. I don't know. Let's just
at least
fuck it.
Kick the tires on it.
Yeah.
See what it. I don't know much about him.
I don't either. He's first rounder, and apparently he gets injured. So, if we're only playing him a little, like if we're kind of rotating him in with the 1,000 other mediocre D linemen we have, then let's just do it. Yeah. All right. So I guess I don't know. I don't really have much to say about that.
I don't know. I would say, and I think they are always looking at everything.
Yeah. Also, we got the playoffs potentially being expanded again. I just pretty much saw a Schefter tweet about it. I didn't really read up on it.
So when I first heard it, I thought, oh, they're doing it. But basically,
Me too.
Yeah. Basically, they're just going to do it if... I think it's more of a money thing. So if they have games get canceled, they may throw that in there. I wonder if they make it through toward the end, do they just wipe out week 16 and go to like some sort of a bubble format to make sure that nothing bad happens?
Yeah,
I don't know.
See that.
I wonder if they're kind of setting it up for this. So they're basically going to be prepared. So let's say they get through week 14 or 15, they may, move to a bubble format, and then you have that extra playoff game. I think what it does for me is I'm not terribly concerned about that number 1 seed or even the number 2 seed.
Yeah.
Like, you want to win your division, but it certainly takes the I don't know, the emphasis, the desperation for winning that 1 seed. Like, I don't know. I think it's 50-50 whether that's an advantage this year at all, because it depends on the matchups, and you never know. You never know how those work out.
Especially with football seeding, it always ends up kind of janky.
Yeah.
Because you'll have the NFC East being ahead of a team like the Saints or something.
Yeah, they'll be the 3 seed.
Yeah.
Whoever wins that, so
yeah.
then that yeah. So anyway, I wouldn't be too worried about the 1 seed. The Seahawks currently are in the 2 seed spot behind, I think, the Saints, if I remember right.
And so much shit could happen.
Oh.
I just said, I said, the Saints could end up being below the Cowboys in the, in the standings technically. So it's
so
it's
who
still
knows?
wild. Especially just the NFC specifically is.
Yeah,
it's the Wild West.
But if I were the NFL, I'll tell you this: I hope no games get canceled. But if I were the NFL, I would make sure that you don't have any COVID cases in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So
That should be the standard for them.
That's number one priority. So if that means you have to wipe out a week, then you should probably do it.
Well, here's the thing. This started as a very, fans with sources type thing, like dude that works at a hotel or whatever. But
Yeah.
apparently, I don't know if we talked about this on the show. Apparently, it was confirmed that the NFL has booked out venues and stuff for 4 weeks for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So that tells me that might be their precaution, where
Right.
they have 4 weeks to play with in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't just mean that they can push the Super Bowl back. That probably means they could push the whole playoffs back.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think, during these difficult times,
Yeah.
we all have to be very flexible. And
For sure.
the NFL seems to be preparing
Unless
for
you're college football.
or baseball.
Or baseball. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I guess moving forward, we got Damian Lewis being the 6th highest rated guard on
Yeah.
PFF. PFF does some goofy things here and there, but I'm going to support this because,
I like it.
because it's good for the boy. So
And Dwayne Brown is the 6th tackle,
nice.
and Yapati is like 15th, but he only plays like half the game, so I don't know about that. But yeah, it's encouraging that they drafted a lineman who appears to be good already as a rookie.
For sure.
I haven't really he had a couple of false starts in the first couple of games, and I thought, okay, here's our new false start guy.
Yeah.
We got to have a false start guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's one guy that has to do the false starts. He was the guy. But even he, really they haven't had that issue the last few games, and a guard, when it's a guard, it's kind of there's I don't sit there and watch the guards when I'm watching a game. I'll be honest, but you notice a guard when they get blown up by a tackle, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's when you notice a guard when they get destroyed, and I haven't noticed him really much at all in the games, so that's probably a good thing.
Yeah. All right, we should get to this because I just realized I had it up on the screen for a while now. Yeah, I did not mean to switch to this screen, but we were going to go through just kind of some of the games last week, and this is just something I wanted to talk about. You saw this, yeah?
I think I did, yeah.
Okay, so Phillip Rivers, there's a fumble that is completely not Phillip Rivers' fault, and it is being returned. And sniper, and then he just throws his arms in the air to try to tackle. I just wanted to mention this because this is the worst tackle attempt I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, PFF says the worst tackle attempt since the merger. So
wow.
yeah.
Sebastian Janikowski had one for the Seahawks.
Oh yeah.
But this was worse. This is worse than that.
This is worse, especially
Janikowski was like, nah.
Yeah, Janikowski kind of gave up. Phillip Rivers did not the whole time, even after his body just kept running when he didn't want to. And the thing is, a kicker, it's whatever. But this is, come on, man. You're a Hall of Fame quarterback. This is, I would probably say, the funniest thing to happen in the NFL season so far. Yeah, I just wanted to watch that a few times. Anyway, we had this up on the podcast for a while, so yeah, I just want to mention that.
I've seen a lot of quarterbacks though that wouldn't have even moved.
The thing is, in this situation, he scored, so it would have just been better if he didn't.
Yeah.
it just would have been better.
We probably wouldn't even have noticed if he would have just stood there.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
But yeah, that's
even if we did notice, it's like it's Phillip Rivers. Is he going to tackle him?
Yeah.
No, he's going to do that.
I bet he said "Dad gummit" when he fell down.
There was a funny edited of him going to the ground and there's like audio of him in a game and he's like, "Dang, flab it, flab it." It's pretty great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Twitter doesn't miss. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, moving forward, we mentioned this on Monday. Pete Carroll got his bag.
Yeah.
What appears to be essentially a lifetime contract, so he can just kind of dip out when he wants. Because I don't see him going past 5 years.
I wouldn't think so.
I mean, who knows? He's still got the energy.
I mean, Tony, La Russa's
coming
back at
Tony
76.
La Russa,
Yeah.
And we do know who he is. We do know who Tony La Russa is, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're happy. Last year, if this would have happened, I would have been happy but indifferent. I would have been cautiously happy. I'm just happy now. He's adapted, at least offensively, to just let Russ cook. And I'm hoping, the only thing I'm worried about is that he let Russ cook just so he could get a contract extension.
Nah.
And no, I'm kidding. He wouldn't do that.
I get very defensive when people criticize Pete, and I have issues with Pete. He's a little bit annoying. Yeah, he wastes some timeouts and does some stupid challenges, although he hasn't really done that as much this year. There's some things I don't like, but who's a better coach in the history of this city?
None.
I mean,
none.
If you want to talk about the college level, you could throw Don James out there. Okay. Okay. But at the pro level, who's done more? He got us a Super Bowl. There's only been 2, yes, the Storm. Okay. Yeah. They've won 4 championships, but of the major sports, we have 2 championships, and he's got one of them, and the other one was in 1979.
Yeah.
And the franchise isn't here anymore.
No.
So they go to the playoffs every year. Is it sometimes disappointing? Yeah. But I've also seen some dark times in, every city has where, there aren't many cities that go to the playoffs every year in any sport. So, and again, he did win the championship. So I'm happy about it. To me, he can keep going as long as he wants to. It would take a couple of losing seasons before I would be ready to move on from the guy.
I agree. At this point, I definitely agree.
And those losing seasons would have to. I'm not like, if Russell Wilson is out for a season, that doesn't count.
Yeah, that obviously would not count.
So, I feel like he gets disrespected by this fan base quite a bit.
Yeah,
they focus on the little negative things instead of the overall big picture, that he is the greatest professional sports coach in the history of this city. Okay.
Of course, yeah.
Don't throw the Sounders in there either. God damn it, I don't want to hear about it.
I don't even know if how many championships they've won. I know they got one.
They got a couple with the coach who I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
I actually really like that coach. He's pretty funny.
Cool.
Yeah.
So also, just one last thing wanted to mention here is Chris Paul. His name has been linked. Got some NBA stuff again.
Sonic's coming back?
No.
Who the fuck cares? Fuck Howard Schultz.
Yeah, fuck Howard Schultz.
Fuck the NBA. Fuck the current commissioner. He still hasn't brought my team back. So fuck them. All of them. Especially Howard Schultz.
Okay, especially Howard Schultz. I'm not going to agree with you on the other ones. But
fuck you too then.
So I know this is very NBA-esque news where it's just rumors, but Chris Paul has been linked with the Phoenix Suns, and they are engaged in talks. I really, really like this. The Suns have a couple young wings that they could give up that the Thunder would be happy to take, I believe. And then a guy like Ricky Rubio, you don't need him if you got Chris Paul. And then what's really interesting is they do have the number 10 overall pick. So will Sam Presti be able to finesse and get that 10th overall pick?
Ooh.
I feel like he will, just because it's Sam Presti and it's the Suns.
Yeah.
So I feel like he will be able to get that 10th overall pick if this happens. But I just really like this. I think, you make an argument. The Suns are definitely not a championship team. So just try to keep kind of not tanking, but try to build up your assets, which means don't trade for a guy like Chris Paul, who is a kind of a win now move.
Right.
The problem is you need to get Devin Booker to the fucking playoffs before he leaves.
Yeah.
You need to get him to the playoffs. Yeah. Same with DeAndre Ayton. They have a ton of young talent there. You need to get those guys in a winning position so they don't just dip. Because right now Devin Booker is still happy with what's happening.
Right.
And he wants to win. So just for the purpose of keeping Devin Booker happy, you trade for a 34-year-old Chris Paul that's making a shit ton of money. You do it.
Yeah.
And so I like this trade if it happens. Another place he was linked to was the Bucks, but apparently those were just complete rumors. They have not been talking. That would just be perfect for Milwaukee.
I know that would be a good move.
A point guard that can distribute. I mean, he's got it all. Chris Paul does, and he just came off one of his best seasons, legitimately one of his best seasons ever. He can obviously distribute. Yeah. He can create his own shot, and he's a very underrated defender.
Yeah.
Very underrated guard defender. So, really anywhere that's trying to make a playoff, either make a playoff push or make a championship push, I like them trading for Chris Paul, and those are two teams that I think it'd be a great fit. Either way, the Thunder, they traded for him when his trade value was at its lowest in his career, and now they're trading him away, not when his trade value is at its highest, but it's definitely higher than when they, you can say, oh, well, they traded Russell Westbrook. How is that low trade value? They were going to trade him anyway, and also look what happened with Russ and Harden. There also, another thing that came out is Russ and Harden are starting to get worried. They're starting to talk to the front office, and they're worried about their roster construction.
Okay. Yeah.
And so things are cracking. They were last year probably.
Yeah.
So, I expect a blow up there, whether that's a blow up as in trading guys or a blow up as in the mixed personalities kind of blow up.
Yeah.
Like a bad chemistry equation. So,
I would like to see Chris Paul go somewhere else. For one thing, fuck the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Fuck OKC. Don't want them to win ever, except it looks like their future's bright.
Yeah, if they make the right draft picks, it is. And then they can keep any of those players, which has been their struggle.
Yeah. Seriously.
But yeah, I've always liked Chris Paul, so I'd like to see him go to a contender.
Mm-hmm. He needs a championship, man. He so deserves one.
Yeah. I like except for he does State Farm commercials. I don't like that, but no, he plays all phases of the game. He plays hard. He seems like a pretty good dude.
He's a leader.
Good leader. Yeah, I would like to see him. God, I would love to see him in Milwaukee. That would be really fun.
I would like to see that too, just because at this point, I was like, oh, Giannis is just going to run through the East. It's going to be like this every year, and I'm just going to I was preemptively getting bored of the Bucks being really good, even though that hasn't came to fruition yet. They were really, really good. They're a great team, but they haven't done shit yet. So now I'm at the point where I want Giannis to be with a player like Chris Paul, and I want them to compete for a championship because I really want Giannis to stay there.
Yeah.
I want Giannis to stay there. Yes, it would be fun to see him go to the Suns or some shit. It would be fun to see him go to Miami. Like, it would be fun for 5 seconds. It would be fun when the news breaks to tell your friends about it.
Yeah.
That's the extent of the fun. I want him. I want small market teams to be able to retain their players, unlike OKC has ever been able to do.
Yeah.
So
I don't want them to retain.
I don't want them to retain shit except for these fucking L's, losers, fucking bitches.
I want them to blow away in one of their dust storms.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
That's what you're known for, is the Dust Bowl.
That's all I got. That and the federal building blowing up. Those are the.
Okay.
That's all that. Like, that's all we know about Oklahoma City.
I can't name anything else.
Yeah, seriously.
I can't name anything else. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I guess,
Oh,
it's
baby.
It's time for the Howard Schultz Clown of the Week.
Yeah. Love it.
Favorite time of the week. Talk about who fucked up and laugh at him. So, I did not know this story happened until this morning when I was preparing the notes. Tony La Russa pulled out the classic. You know who I am? You know who I am?
Oh, my God.
Pulled out the absolute classic. So he got a DUI, celebrating, getting back into the game. And he gets pulled over for obviously driving drunk. He goes, "Do you see my ring? I'm a Hall of Famer." And the actual quote is really funny. Because he talked to the cop like he didn't know what. So I had one glass of wine while I was dinner at my friend's. "Do you see my ring? I'm a Hall of Famer baseball person." That makes it sound like you're not a Hall of Famer baseball person. If you're saying I'm a Hall of Famer baseball person, that's definitely a fake ring, buddy. No, but I I'm legit. I'm a Hall of Famer, brother. You're trying to embarrass me. And then I think they mistyped here because they said that he will to embarrass. Anyway, yeah. Tony La Russa clown for that. You know, anyone that gets a DUI. Oh my God, the guy that I'll just throw this in there too. The guy that made the song "Now Watch Me Whip, Watch Me Nay Nay."
Yeah,
he got arrested for a DUI like a couple weeks ago, and it was the same shit.
Yeah.
And it's he was like, "Do you know who I am? I'm a star." You made the Whippin' Nay Nay song, buddy. That's all your entire existence boils down to. Because he's make no mistake, he's a one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're asking, do you know who I am? Yeah, you're the guy that made the fucking Vine dance. That's what you did. Anyway, sorry. Tangent. Totally Russo clown. Also Silento clown. Even though that was a few weeks ago. He's not the clown of the week. Tony La Russa is.
Yeah, and probably, not huge news had he not just been hired by the White Sox.
Seriously, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been like very under the radar news.
Yeah.
But they basically are like, yeah, okay, oh well.
Yeah.
And it was, I think this happened like 6 months ago. But
yeah, it was like a February. Oh shit. Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
He just now got charged with it, I think. So
February arrest, I thought I read.
Yeah.
But I don't,
Yeah, but man, I'm guessing cops don't like to be big timed, they don't like throwing that out there.
Oh, earlier on Tuesday, free agent pitcher Marcus Stroman, who is pretty nasty, tweeted that there was no amount of money that would make him want to play for someone like La Russa.
Oh.
I don't know if that's in reference to the DUI. I don't think it would be. Stroman definitely. I don't want to say anything.
Click on that link.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything before I get anything wrong about Stroman, but let's see. Free agent, yeah. So that was anyway. Start talking about your thing while I read this.
Okay, my clown of the week.
Yeah, your clown of the week.
Okay,
hold on.
Oh yeah. Just keep it rolling, baby.
Yeah.
Okay, so my clown of the week is the Berkeley Health Authority.
Okay, yeah, that's a great one.
So, again, I'm going to throw my disclaimer out there, okay? Yes, I know that sports are not the most important thing in the world and that we all have to be careful during these difficult times. I get it. But I think that when one player... So the whole point of this rapid testing is it sees the buildup of the virus in your system.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not before you have it, but it doesn't miss. Here, let me see if I can find the tweet.
Apparently Stroman, so the tweet he responded to was, how much money would it take for you to play for an old and seemingly racist alcoholic?
Racist.
And Stroman said, no amount of money, honestly. Peace of mind is always priority. So apparently there are some people in the baseball world, including Jay Good 415, fans of sources, says that he's seemingly racist. So I'm not going to make any accusations there because I have not done my research. But
yeah, I've not heard any evidence of racism there, but I don't know. I don't know.
Who knows? Anyway.
Okay, so this is what. So again, I've talked about John Wilner from God, I always forget what paper it is. San Jose Mercury News.
Okay.
The Wilner Hotline at Wilner Hotline on Twitter. He's a great follow if you're a Pac-12 follower. So Wilner said, astounding to me that Berkeley Health believes infected person could test negative for days, but also be contagious throughout that period. Antigen testing detects viral load at CT level before contagiousness occurs. Odds of repeated false negatives are infinitesimal. So basically Berkeley not only... So they had one player, he was asymptomatic, test positive. Everybody else has tested negative multiple times, yet they're still not able to play. So, hey, I'm all for follow the science, okay? I'm not one of those people. Please believe me. So if there's risk that those players can affect others, yeah, lock them up. That's fine.
For sure.
But there's not a risk here. They don't have it. They've never had it.
Yeah.
They're not going to have it unless they get infected by someone else.
I haven't heard of false negative tests. I have not heard of false negative tests.
Yeah. So, and they've been tested multiple times too. So you're not going to test negative over and over again when you're positive. So for Berkeley to, shut this whole thing down, this whole position group down, which led to the cancellation of the game, is just asinine. Yeah, be careful. I get it. But we also need to move forward in areas where we can move forward without risk. And this appears to be one of them.
Yeah.
So Cal right now is looking at potentially playing and practicing outside of the county,
Right.
So how does that help anything, though? So they move. I mean, that doesn't change. You know what I mean? Is that what you want? You just want them to move over the border? So
yeah.
I mean, come on.
No, it's...
Give them an exemption. They have testing that no one else has.
Yeah.
And let them play the game.
That's the thing is, like, we have, these conferences they have the access to the most shit, the most advanced shit, and they're still being way more cautious than any health official says they have to be.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
It's certain counties that are going way overboard on it. And again, I for the most part I agree with caution, but there's a point where it becomes ridiculous, and this appears to be one of those.
For sure. That's a good clown. Also, circling back to La Russa, apparently he was not very fond of Colin Kaepernick. That's a loaded issue that we have kind of gotten into already.
And I would want to, I guess I would say when did he have that take? Because if you listen to my take 4 years ago, it would not be very good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But it's just you didn't understand.
I've changed my stance on it.
Because there's, for me, right when it happened, I didn't understand either. I didn't understand it was a police brutality thing. I'll come right out and say that. So at the very forefront of it, I thought it was, I was just misinformed.
Yeah.
And after I was informed, I completely agreed. And old people, it's hard for them to be informed sometimes, just to be completely honest.
And I never, obviously I never tweeted about it, never Facebooked about it, never really said anything to anybody about it. But I was having issues with Colin Kaepernick. But then the more I learned about it, I still don't love how he did it, but I get it. Like, I understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, enough of that. But so did La Russa say something about Kaepernick a week ago, a month ago?
I think,
then I would have a concern. If he said it a couple years ago, then, find out what the guy thinks now.
Yeah.
Give him another chance on that stance. But anyway.
Yeah. And he's also had quotes talking about how we've tried so hard, the MLB, to expand the black athletes' opportunity. We want the black athletes to pick not basketball or football. We want them to play baseball. So it doesn't seem like he's like a super racist dude.
Yeah, and I'm not sure when he said that, but baseball had alarmingly low African American numbers.
It was like, I remember it was like Jimmy Rollins and Ryan Howard, and they were on the same team, and that was it. That was like it. Yeah.
And a lot of that's because it's hard, in really it costs money to play baseball.
Yeah.
Spend a lot of money for you to play baseball, So, it's easier to play other sports, and there's more financial backing behind other sports too.
I mean, you just legitimately need a ball for basketball.
Yeah.
And
then there's just a lot more financial backing from even shoe companies and things like that will pay for travel teams. And, football is kind of the same way, but baseball doesn't have that type of youth backing that others do. So anyway, that's a whole nother issue. But but I think he was MLB did, and the numbers are up. But MLB has invested money in communities, to try to keep baseball going. But maybe they should just make their damn game better.
Yeah.
So more people like to watch it, and then more people would want to play it.
Yeah, and the question always comes back to, how do you do it?
I don't know.
How do you shorten time in between innings, which they've tried to do and it hasn't worked? Do you juice the balls, which they've done and it hasn't worked? I
don't know what they can do, but I'll say this. We live in Mill Creek Little League area.
Yeah.
It's it's a pretty, I'm not going to say well-to-do, but it's a, upper middle class area.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers in Mill Creek Little League were, there were over 1,000 kids in the league 10 years ago, and it was, I think, under 600 last year.
It just pretty much after I left, it astronomically just year by year dropped.
Yeah, it went down every year.
I'm not gonna say it's because I left, but I'm just saying there is a trend there.
It must be.
Mason leaves, the league goes to shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, but that's obviously unfortunate. I think I just want to run through quickly. I forgot, just run through any other interesting points we had from the other NFL games before we get to our player and our lock of the week for next week. So, Falcons pick up a win against the Broncos. Who cares? Okay. Ravens did cover against the Colts. I was right about that. Colts only put up 10. So, the Panthers almost beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
It was so close. And shout out Teddy Bridgewater. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Shout out Teddy Bridgewater. Also, is Joe Brady definitely going to get hired for a head coaching gig next year? Their offensive coordinator, he was with Joe Burrow.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah. Honestly, he probably should. Also, fucking... Clown of the week is me for drafting Christian McCaffrey, apparently, because he's fucking out again with a shoulder injury.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he's getting a second opinion, but... God, fuck.
That's why you always want to pay the running backs, right? Give them
of course,
contracts.
yeah. Dalvin Cook did his thing against the Lions.
That guy too.
Yeah, I know. That was a big draft mistake.
I'm not drafting him. He's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
1 year, he's not going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I'll draft him next year. He will, I guarantee you.
Of course. Yeah.
It'll be a game time decision every week next year.
Steelers beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys covered.
Yeah, baby.
Cowboys covered.
How about them Cowboys?
Good job, Cowboys. Your 14.5-point spread was your Fox game of the week, and they delivered by not getting their absolute asses kicked, their heads pushed into their chest.
Here's an interesting tidbit that I can't believe I haven't heard anyone else say this. Maybe somebody did out there. But none of the reporters who cover the Seahawks mention this. There's a lot of who's Garrett Gilbert. He was the Cowboys quarterback this week.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, Gilbert, huh? And then I remembered Gail Gilbert was a backup quarterback on the Seahawks, like in the 80s.
Son of Gail Gilbert?
Uh-huh. So Garrett Gilbert is Gail Gilbert's son. Gail Gilbert was charged with, like, rape and all kinds of bad shit. Yeah. Either I don't know if it was when he was with the Seahawks or after. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good for Garrett didn't wait. Gail is the bad one.
Yeah,
Garrett is a separate person. Good for him for getting an opportunity and not letting his dad's name bring him down because we just kind of
I just brought it down
secured
again.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, just ruined his life.
Yeah.
Sorry, Garrett.
Thank you, Dolphins. We need to talk about this. This is the one game. We'll also talk about Saints Bucks a little too, but we need to talk about this. The Dolphins have beat all of the NFC West teams except for the Seahawks.
Did it perfectly. The Dolphins would be, the best team in the NFC West right now.
They're 5-3, dude.
Yeah,
it's
and
nuts.
They're 3-1 against
3-1 against the NFC West, which is definitely the best division. If not, it's top two at least. So.
Yep.
Yeah, just shout out to them. Tua 20 for 28, 248 yards and 2 tutters. So he actually looked good this week.
Yeah.
I didn't really watch a ton of this game, or I didn't really look at the stats. Savon Ahmed, 7 for 38, baby. Hell yeah.
And I think he's going to be out for a little bit with an injury.
Shit.
But then, sorry. No,
that's
not
Gaskin.
Ahmed. That's Gaskin.
That's Gaskin. Yeah. He did not get any carries yesterday.
Yeah. So Ahmed had a nice game. He's a guy that I didn't think would make a team, and
oh no, I didn't either.
He's proven me wrong.
Didn't at all. Yeah. So shout out to them, I suppose. I mean, Cardinals are still 5-3, and seeing as the Dolphins are a decent football team, I'm definitely still scared of the Cardinals. I mean, we lost to them, so of course I would be. But yeah, and then moving forward, we got Saints Bucks.
Oh,
Fuck.
whoa.
Jameis got in this game. Taysom Hill got in this game. 38-3.
And it was like just from the jump, Brady looked bad, had a couple of picks. It was 21-0 early, and I thought oh yeah.
He had a 3.8 QBR.
Ugh.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, 22 for 38, 209 yards and 3 picks. Not great.
Antonio Brown making a big impact.
Seriously, 5.5 yards per attempt.
Yeah, he was. Ugh. It was awful. And when they were down 21-0, I thought, oh, they'll make a run here. They'll kind of come back, but they never did anything. Nothing. What a blowout.
I love Bruce Arians kicking a field goal in the fourth quarter to make sure it's not a shutout.
Ugh.
I love that move.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's nuts. Shout out to Ronald Jones, my fantasy running back. 3 carries for 9 yards.
Nice.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, good.
So, yeah, happy with that performance. Drew Brees, 26 for 32, 222 yards, 4 touchdowns, 6.9 yards per attempt. What was hilarious is Drew Brees coming in just to throw a touchdown pass. I don't know if you kind of saw that whole thing happen, but Taysom Hill was in the game, and he threw, so he was 2 for 2 for 48 yards. I don't really know what happened. All I know is that he got them down the field, and then Drew Brees just came in for one play and threw a touchdown. It was like right after Tom Brady threw a pick, too. It was great. But,
so they've been, they've gone back and forth on the all-time NFL touchdown lead. So it's like
which is great, by the way. The fact that we're living in this right now is crazy, that they're just moving back and forth. But I think Brees is ahead by like 5 now.
I think so. It's funny. They made a big deal last year when Brees became the all-time touchdown leader. They made this huge deal about it, and I'm like, this could change pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
It has. Mm-hmm. They've gone back and forth, but yeah, Brady had a bad game. Brees had it, through 4, and so now he's got a lead, and we'll see if it lasts. Who knows?
Yeah. All right. I guess that leaves us with our lock and player of the week. So how about you go first with your player of the week?
Okay, player of the week, and I hate to say this, I don't like my pick, but it seems pretty obvious to me. Cooper Kupp, Rams against.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Who's going to cover him in the slot?
That's a good pick.
He's going to put up some numbers.
That's a really good pick.
He's going to he's one of those just, he's sneaky athletic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shifty. It's going to hurt. I think I still think the Seahawks have a good chance to win the game, but he's going to frustrate us many times in the game.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take. I don't know if I've taken. Oh fuck! I don't know if I've taken. Just closed out of my tab that I needed. So, yeah. I don't know if I've taken a defensive player. I did. I was going to take Jamal Adams, but he did not come back the week that I was going to take him.
Right.
So, give me TJ Watt against the Bengals.
Ooh.
Offensive line is dog shit. Rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
I think, obviously just a great defense. I think TJ Watt gets more than 1 sack. I think he gets 2+.
Yeah.
So,
that's a good pick.
Give me TJ Watt. Yeah. And then I guess we'll go into the lock of the week. Do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go. So, by the way, I'm 10-1, baby.
10-1.
Thank you, Dolphins.
Yeah, I am 8-3.
That's
I started off like 2-3, and now so I'm hot.
Nice, good job. So I'm making what might be a stupid pick, but because it's a homer pick.
Mm-hmm.
I probably shouldn't do it, but I'm gonna go with UW -13 against OSU.
-13 against OSU. Damn.
I think
it's quite the line.
I think OSU is really bad. I think their quarterback can't play.
Okay.
I mean, he looked awful.
Interesting.
I think UW might outscore OSU's off. The UW defense might score more points than the OSU offense.
I'd be down. Yeah.
So this is based on just what I saw. Now I'll say this. I don't know who UW's quarterback's going to be. Hopefully it's not that one. I don't know who their running back's going to be.
Yeah.
I don't know who their receivers are going to be.
Yep.
So we'll see. I don't
Fuck
even know
it,
what
dude.
their offense is going to look like.
They're winning by 15.
Hell
Fuck
yeah.
it.
Hell yeah. No, I think Jimmy Lake's going to want to make a statement here. I don't think he'll take his foot off the gas.
He won't. Not the type to.
I think this is going to be a 38 to 6.
38 to 3. Just
38 to 3. Let's go with that. Let's go with the
Saints
score. Yeah, it's going to be something like that.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't know if I like the pick, but I like the outcome that you're hoping for.
Yeah.
So I was deciding between two different picks to make between the Rams and Seahawks game. I really wanted to take the Seahawks plus 1.5 because I think they're going to win. I just feel like they will. But I am going to take the over in that game, 55.5. It's quite a high one.
It's a big one.
It's a big one. So the score essentially would need to be like 30 to 27 for that to hit.
It sure seems like that's inevitable.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. This is kind of similar to your pick in that it's not like I'm taking a safe bet where, the Panthers are plus 10 against the Saints like I did that one week. I feel like that was a pretty safe pick. We're both pretty kind of taking some more risky picks here because, big line, big over, and we're going with them. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they both. I hope they both. Actually, well, I don't necessarily hope for the over. I hope for the Seahawks to win. Yeah. That's
well, maybe they'll win 56-0, and then you'll.
Hey, that'd be nice. Yeah, you got anything else?
No, I hope to see a UW game. If they cancel again, I'm going to fucking lose it.
Me too.
You'll probably never see me on this podcast again. It will be the Aaron Coe Memorial podcast.
Oh man.
Yeah. I don't think I can handle it. So, hopefully everything goes down the way they intend it to. So
for sure.
It's UW homecoming this week.
Hey,
but we can't go home.
No,
we can't
go
home.
Can't go home.
I'm not invited.
No one's invited. By the way, I just saw a tweet that the Vikings are not aiming to allow more than 250 people in their stadium. 250 is it's like such a small.
That is odd. That's like barely family.
That's I don't know. That one's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I figured I'd throw that out there because that was tweeted while we were recording. 250. It's like if you're gonna do 250, do 1,000, right? I don't know.
That's while we're here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's asinine to me that most Pac-12 schools are not allowing the players' parents to go to the games.
I agree.
Yeah. To me, like let them watch their kids play.
Yeah.
Separate them. It shouldn't be that hard to allow a couple hundred people. Anyway, that's
All right. Well, if you made it this far, thank you very much. You're dope, and you're also kind of wild because I don't know why you'd watch this, but follow us on Twitter at Mason Charles Coe, at Aaron Coe 29. Go ahead and friend him on Facebook because that's where most of his thoughts go. So
it's a scary place.
It's a scary place, but it's a wild ride. So go ahead and join. And yeah, subscribe. I mean, that's, subscribe, leave a like. Truthfully, if I've gotten a few messages from people, and I think you have too. And, not a lot of people are watching this thing, but just hearing from someone and just knowing that you guys at least somewhat enjoy some of the things we say, it makes my day. So, this.
It's really cool that a couple of other people have asked us about starting podcasts.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
So that tells me at the very least the production is okay.
Yeah, and that's all you. That's all you. I gotta give full credit.
Fair, yeah.
People ask me, I'm like, I don't know. I just sit down and run my mouth.
Why the fuck do you think he did all this? What? Why? Well, this is me. What? I'm the one pushing the buttons here. Guess what?
I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. I
Now
just
you can-
sit down and run.
I just pushed a button. Now you can see a tweet that Woj tweeted, and now I push it again, and it shows me and him.
I don't even know what this thing does. What happens if I just start hitting buttons randomly?
You can maybe play the Clown of the Week music if you hit the right sequence of buttons. Yeah, guess what?
Oh,
I can just do
maybe.
that on command and stop
Wow.
it. So anyway.
Oh man, I know nothing.
Yeah.
I don't even know if this thing's on. I don't even know if this thing actually goes onto the internet. I have no clue.
I just fool him. Yeah, he's insane. I just appease him. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Thank you. And
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Yeah. Peace out.
See ya.